Okay, we're back here on it's windy to death out here. So this is the old Sa200, Paul's old machine. So I had an issue recently with it where I moved it. It's not sitting on that trailer anymore. It was sitting on that trailer and I wanted to try to put it on that trailer, and it didn't work very well because this machine is heavy. Enough said. So what happened was I had moved it, and then just, I don't use this machine to make money or anything like that. So it's just kind of a hobby. I just kind of poke around with it. Well, I wanted to start it and see how it was doing, so I did. And it wasn't idling the way it was supposed to. It wouldn't. It would idle down, but when I struck an arc with it, it would not rev back up. And so I didn't really know what was going on with it. I have gotten it fixed. I fixed it myself, and I'm gonna explain a little bit about what I did and what all I have seen here. So this right here is basically the only way that I have of knowing. Well, it's not the only way that I have. I have an RPM. I have a device that I can use to measure RPM, and I can put a sticker on the crank right there and shoot it with a laser, and it'll tell me what RPMs we're running. But I haven't done that. I just put my voltmeter right there and dial it into 120. And it was not doing it. It was not doing the thing. And I would try striking an arc, and what I heard, you see this housing is off. It's right there. What I heard was it sounded like leaves in here fluttering. What it was is these. So this is a brush holder, and that's the commutator. Rotor rotates, stator stays. So this would be the rotor, and those would be the stator. And that's the brush holder right there. Well, so as this thing was rotating, as this rotating apparatus was rotating, it was sparking where the brushes right down here, where the brushes make contact with the commutator right down there, and it was causing a lot of carbon buildup. And I poked around with it and poked around with it, and finally, eventually, what I found was that set of brushes right there, that would be the top left hand, that set right there was hung. And once I got them free, I tried striking an arc again, and it was doing it. And I could hear this clicking. This has got an electromagnet in it that when you strike an arc, it pulls current through there. And hey, there's Mac. It pulls current through there, and it sucks this thing, pushes it down. This is the bellows for the slow idle, and this shoots it back down into fast idle mode. So by the time I got that figured out, I had been monkeying around with this so much that I had it so screwed up I didn't think I was ever going to get it fixed. Well, nobody really had any information about it, and I looked up the manual for it and did not really find the information I was looking for. It just kind of explained to me a little bit about what everything does. Well, so what I have determined, and I can go into greater detail if I need to, if anybody cares to listen to me ramble. What I have found is that this arm is how you set the governor speed. This rod right here, this rod is attached from the governor arm to the carburetor linkage. This right here, I'm gonna put a screwdriver on that now so we can see what it does. This right here. This shaft that the screwdriver is in is what operates the butterfly in the carburetor. And there's a spring right there, and there's a spring right there, and there's fly weights inside of here. And so the faster this engine is rotating, the harder it wants to pull this arm that way. So from that's at rest, it wants to pull the fly weights in there, want to pull this arm that way. And that causes that way closes the butterfly, that way opens the butterfly. So if the engine is not spinning fast enough, the governor will pull the butterflies open. And I better do something about that at some point. So the governor will pull the butterflies open, and I think that this should be adjustable by a screw here that rides there. I think that this spring must be too long. I've got a couple of springs ordered from VW. But what I have done in lieu of this spring, so this head of that bolt right there would ride right there. And the tighter you make it, the further it would push this arm that way, pulling spring tension here, pulling on this rod, which would cause this arm to go that direction and pull that direction. The arm goes that direction, and the butterfly rotates that direction. So I think my spring's too long. So with a shorter spring, that would pull this surface back this way. So what I've done in lieu of that is I got myself a turnbuckle and some jack chain. And I don't think it's a perfect situation at all, but it does work. So this way, I have some pretty delicate adjustment that I can do. It would not hurt at all for me to put some lock nuts here and there to keep that from adjusting itself. But I'll start it and I'll strike an arc just to prove that I finally got it back done what I do. So again, here's my switch basically.